Did an emotional confrontation just happen behind the scenes? Or is the internet once again getting carried away with speculation? Social media exploded after rumors started circulating about a tense moment involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown. Some posts claim Diggs was devastated. Others say he confronted Cardi directly after shocking marriage rumors began trending online. Screenshots, reaction videos, and heated debates are spreading across every platform. But here's the big question: what's actually confirmed, and what's just internet storytelling? In today's breakdown, we're diving into the timeline, the rumors, and the reactions that have fans choosing sides. Because when big celebrity names collide in one headline, the truth can get buried under viral chaos. Before you believe the drama, you need the full story. Every viral celebrity storm begins the same way, with one post that suddenly captures everyone's attention. In this case, the internet erupted when rumors started circulating involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown. Within hours, speculation spread across social platforms claiming there had been an emotional confrontation connected to shocking marriage. Rumors. But here's the key detail most people missed in those first moments. None of the early posts included verified documentation. There was no confirmed statement, no official interview, and no direct confirmation from any of the individuals involved. Instead, the story began with screenshots, reaction tweets, and anonymous accounts claiming insider knowledge. Still, that didn't stop the narrative from exploding. The first wave of posts framed the situation dramatically. Headlines appeared suggesting that Diggs had been devastated after discovering rumors that Cardi B had secretly married Chris Brown. Some posts even described an alleged emotional confrontation. Whether those claims were accurate or exaggerated didn't matter to the algorithm. The combination of high-profile celebrity names and emotional storytelling guaranteed instant engagement. And engagement drives visibility within minutes. Short-form video platforms filled with creators reacting to the alleged story. Some expressed shock. Others tried to break down supposed timelines connecting the three celebrities. Dramatic thumbnails appeared with captions like "Did this really happen?" and "The truth finally revealed." Even though many videos were based on speculation, their confident tone made the story feel more concrete. That's the power of presentation. When something looks polished and urgent, audiences often assume it's based on confirmed facts. But presentation doesn't equal proof. At this stage, the story existed almost entirely as online chatter. Fans quickly began investigating on their own. Some searched through recent social media posts looking for clues. Was Cardi B posting differently? Did Stefon Diggs appear upset in recent interviews? Had Chris Brown hinted at anything cryptic in his music or online comments? These searches produced countless interpretations, and interpretation fuels virality. For example, a simple caption on Instagram can suddenly take on new meaning when fans believe there's hidden context behind it. An emoji becomes symbolic. A song lyric becomes a message. Even silence becomes part of the narrative. This phenomenon is known as narrative anchoring. Once audiences attach a story to a public figure, every action is interpreted through that story. The situation escalated further when commentary pages began discussing possible timelines. Some suggested the rumored confrontation had happened privately. Others speculated that emotional reactions had occurred behind the scenes. None of these claims came with confirmed sources at that moment. But repetition made them feel credible. Repetition is incredibly persuasive. When dozens of accounts share the same rumor, audiences may assume those accounts have independent information. In reality, many of them might simply be repeating the same original post. This creates what media analysts call an echo chamber, where a claim appears stronger simply because it's repeated frequently. Another factor that intensified the story was emotional framing. Words like crying, confrontation, and secret marriage trigger strong reactions. They create the impression of a dramatic turning point in someone's life. And when those words appear alongside celebrity names, curiosity skyrockets. Emotion spreads faster than caution. That's why rumors like this often reach millions of viewers before journalists even begin investigating them. The algorithm prioritizes engagement, not verification. If people are reacting, commenting, and sharing, the story continues rising in visibility. Meanwhile, traditional media outlets were slower to address the rumor. Professional reporters often require confirmed sources before publishing sensitive stories. Involving personal relationships. This difference in speed between social media and traditional journalism creates a gap. And inside that gap, speculation thrives by the end of the first day. The rumor had evolved far beyond its original post. It wasn't just about a supposed confrontation anymore. The conversation had expanded into multiple debates. Some fans argued that celebrity relationships are often complicated and private, so dramatic rumors shouldn't be surprising. Others insisted that spreading unverified claims can damage reputations and invades personal privacy. The debate itself became part of the story. What started as a single rumor had now become a full digital spectacle. Reaction videos were accumulating millions of views. Comment sections were overflowing with arguments. Memes even began appearing, showing just how deeply the topic had penetrated internet culture. But despite all the noise, one crucial question remained unanswered. Was there any verified evidence supporting the rumor? At that point, no widely confirmed documentation had been publicly presented. Yet the narrative continued growing because attention had already locked onto it. Once a story reaches that stage, it becomes extremely difficult to slow down. Part 1 of this unfolding situation isn't about confirming what happened behind closed doors. It's about understanding how quickly speculation can transform into a trending narrative. It shows how powerful emotional storytelling can be in the digital age. It shows how repetition can create the illusion of certainty. And it shows how audiences can become participants in shaping a story. Before facts fully emerge, because once the internet decides a story is interesting, the next phase begins almost immediately. Once the rumors involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown began circulating, the story quickly moved beyond a few gossip accounts. It became a full-blown viral event. The turning point came when larger commentary pages and reaction creators started discussing the rumor. These accounts have millions of followers, and when they pick up a story, it instantly reaches a massive audience. Suddenly, what began as speculation was appearing in trending topics and recommended feeds everywhere, and once a story trends, it evolves. Some creators approached the situation cautiously, emphasizing that nothing had been confirmed. Others leaned into the drama, presenting the rumor almost like a breaking news story. Dramatic titles, emotional commentary, and shocking thumbnails fueled curiosity. Words like exposed, heartbroken, and confrontation appeared repeatedly. Across posts, those words carry emotional power. They turn a rumor into a narrative. Soon, the story began spreading across multiple platforms at the same time. TikTok clips, YouTube commentary, Instagram posts, and trending tweets all fed into the same cycle. Each new piece of content referenced the others, creating a loop of information that felt larger and more convincing. This is what media analysts call a viral feedback loop. One video references a tweet. A tweet references another video. A blog references both. The result is a web of repeated claims that appear interconnected, even when they all trace back to the same original rumor. Meanwhile, fans began examining every detail connected to the celebrities involved. Old interviews resurfaced online. Past social media posts were reanalyzed. Even small moments from months earlier were suddenly interpreted through the lens of the rumor. For example, a casual caption or song lyric could suddenly be interpreted as a hidden message. Fans speculated about whether certain lyrics hinted at relationship tension. Others analyzed body language from public appearances. This type of crowdsourced investigation can be fascinating, but it can also be misleading. When thousands of people are searching for connections at the same time, coincidences can easily appear meaningful. Still, the momentum continued building. Another factor that intensified the story was the emotional investment of fan communities. Fans of Cardi B defended her strongly, arguing that rumors about her personal life often spiral out of
control online. Supporters of Stefon Diggs speculated about how he might feel if the rumors were true. Meanwhile, Chris Brown's fan base debated whether his name was being pulled into a narrative without confirmation. The result was intense polarization. Some viewers believed the rumors must be based on real events happening privately. Others argued that the entire story was simply a product of internet exaggeration. This division created endless debate, and debate drives engagement. Every comment, like, and share pushed the story higher in the algorithm. Platforms are designed to highlight content that generates reactions. The more people argued about the rumor, the more visible it became. And with visibility came monetization. Content creators quickly realized that videos discussing the rumor were attracting huge audiences. Reaction channels posted updates analyzing new theories. Live streams featured panel discussions where hosts debated whether the alleged confrontation could have happened. Even creators who doubted the rumor still discussed it because the topic was trending. In other words, the system rewarded participation in the conversation, regardless of whether someone believed the claim. But while social media was moving at lightning speed, traditional journalism was operating very differently. Professional reporters often require confirmed sources and verified information before publishing sensitive stories involving personal relationships. That difference in standards meant mainstream outlets were slower to report on the rumor, and, in the absence of verified updates, speculation filled the gap. By the second day of the viral cycle, the narrative had grown far beyond its original form. What started as a rumor about a confrontation had expanded into multiple competing storylines. Some posts suggested the confrontation had already happened privately. Others claimed emotional reactions had been witnessed by insiders. Still others argued that the entire story was a misunderstanding. Each version attracted its own audience. The internet had effectively created multiple parallel realities, each supported by different interpretations of the same limited information. This phenomenon highlights a major characteristic of digital culture. People often believe the version of events that aligns with their existing opinions or loyalties. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. When people want something to be true or false, they subconsciously focus on information that supports their belief while ignoring information that contradicts it. As the story continued trending, that bias shaped how audiences interpreted every new detail. But despite the massive attention, one question remained at the center of the debate. Was there any concrete evidence supporting the rumor? At that stage, no widely verified documentation had emerged confirming a confrontation or secret marriage involving the celebrities mentioned in the rumor cycle. Yet the story continued to grow, because once a rumor captures the internet's attention, it often becomes less about facts and more about the spectacle of discussion. Even when information isn't confirmed, repeated headlines and viral conversations can reshape how audiences think about the people involved. That's exactly what began happening as the speculation around Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown continued spreading across the internet. Search trends began reflecting the controversy. When people typed the celebrities' names into search engines, suggested phrases included references to the rumor. Social media timelines filled with debates about what might have happened behind the scenes. This is how digital association forms. Once two or three high-profile names become linked in a viral story, algorithms begin connecting them automatically. Even if the original rumor is unverified, the connection can linger in search results, comment sections, and trending hashtags, and that connection shapes perception. During this stage, the conversation moved beyond the initial rumor. It was no longer just about whether an alleged confrontation happened. Now, people were discussing the implications of the story. What would it mean if it were true? How would the celebrities involved respond? Why would such a rumor spread in the first place? The debate itself became the headline. At the same time, fans began dividing into opposing camps. Supporters of each celebrity defended them passionately. Some viewers believed the rumor might reflect real tensions happening privately. Others insisted the entire situation was a product of internet exaggeration. The arguments filled comment sections everywhere, and arguments generate engagement. Social media platforms are designed to promote content that sparks reactions. The more people commented and debated, the more the algorithm pushed videos and posts about the rumor to wider audiences. Soon, even people who hadn't followed the original story began encountering it in their feeds. That's the moment when a rumor becomes cultural. Another major effect during this phase was narrative anchoring. Once the story attached itself to the celebrities involved, audiences started interpreting unrelated events through that narrative. For example, a new social media post from one of the celebrities might suddenly be analyzed for hidden meaning. A song lyric might be interpreted as a message. Even a public appearance could be framed as evidence supporting or contradicting the rumor. But interpretation doesn't equal confirmation. This type of analysis can easily transform ordinary actions into supposed clues. It's part of a broader phenomenon where audiences feel like detectives, trying to uncover secrets behind celebrity headlines. Sometimes this crowd-driven curiosity leads to genuine discoveries. Other times it simply fuels speculation. Meanwhile, media analysts pointed out another important factor: emotional storytelling. Rumors that include emotional elements such as heartbreak, confrontation, or betrayal tend to spread faster than neutral information. The idea of a dramatic confrontation between famous figures is inherently compelling. It creates a story arc. Stories with clear emotional stakes attract attention because they feel like scenes from a movie or television drama. Viewers become invested in the characters and the outcome, even if the events themselves remain uncertain. This emotional engagement explains why the rumor cycle continued, even without confirmed updates. Another significant impact involved reputation management. Celebrities operate within industries where public image plays a major role. Athletes depend on endorsements and sponsorships. Musicians build brands connected to their public persona. When viral rumors circulate, public relations teams often monitor the conversation closely. Even unverified stories can influence how audiences perceive someone's image. That doesn't necessarily mean careers are affected directly, but it does mean reputations can be shaped by digital narratives. At the same time, fatigue slowly began appearing. After several days of intense debate, some viewers started questioning the reliability of the information circulating online. Comment sections began including more skeptical voices asking where the original claims came from. Fatigue. It's a natural stage of viral cycles. The internet thrives on novelty. Once a topic has been discussed repeatedly, it's gradually move on to the next trending story. But even when attention fades, the digital footprint remains. Videos stay online. Posts remain searchable. Screenshots continue circulating months later. Someone might encounter the rumor for the first time without seeing the full discussion that surrounded it. That's one of the challenges of digital culture. Context can disappear while fragments remain by this stage of the story. The rumor had already achieved something significant. It had reshaped how audiences discuss the celebrities involved. Even though verified confirmation of the alleged events had not emerged publicly, That's the power of viral storytelling. It can create narratives that feel real simply because they are repeated often enough. But no viral storm lasts forever. Eventually, attention shifts. A new controversy captures headlines. The algorithm begins promoting different topics. Every viral story feels it's unstoppable while it's happening. Timelines are filled with debates. Reaction videos appear every few minutes. Comment sections turn into battlegrounds where fans argue over every possible detail. But eventually, something always changes. The internet moves on. After days of intense discussion about the rumors involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B and Chris Brown, the conversation slowly began to cool. It didn't happen all at once. Instead, the shift appeared gradually across social media platforms. At first, the signs were subtle. Reaction videos that once received millions of views started getting fewer comments. Hashtags that had been trending across platforms began dropping lower in the rankings. Large commentary pages stopped posting. New updates about the story. This is the natural life cycle of viral rumors. In the beginning, curiosity drives attention. People want to know what happened. They search for updates and share reactions. But once the same arguments start repeating, interest begins to fade. Fatigue replaces excitement when audiences feel like they've already heard every possible theory. The urgency disappears. Even the most dramatic headlines lose their impact when they are repeated too often. And that's exactly what began happening with this rumor cycle. Some viewers started questioning where the original claims came from. Others pointed out that no confirmed documentation had been publicly presented to support the more dramatic versions of the story. Discussions shifted away from emotional reactions and toward skepticism. But skepticism rarely trends the way drama does. That's why the cooling phase often feels quieter than the earlier stages of a viral storm. Fewer people are posting. Fewer people are arguing. The algorithm slowly redirects attention toward new topics that generate stronger engagement. Another factor that accelerated the cooling phase was the emergence of new trending stories. Social media platforms thrive on novelty. When a new controversy appears, it immediately competes for attention. Viewers who had spent days discussing the rumor suddenly found themselves distracted by other headlines. The spotlight shifted. However, even as the conversation slowed, the digital footprint of the rumor remained. Videos discussing the speculation continued existing online. Tweets and posts referencing the story stayed searchable. New viewers could still discover the content. Weeks or months later, this is one of the defining features of internet culture. Stories fade, but traces remain for the celebrities involved. The cooling phase often creates a strategic decision point. Public figures must decide whether to address rumors directly or allow them to fade naturally. Responding publicly can sometimes clarify misunderstandings, but it can also reignite the conversation. Ignoring speculation may allow the story to disappear more quickly, but silence can also lead some audiences to interpret it as confirmation. There is no perfect strategy. Public relations teams often weigh these decisions carefully, balancing the risks of speaking out against the benefits of letting the news cycle move forward. Meanwhile, fan communities continue interpreting events in their own ways. Some fans maintain strong beliefs about what they think happened behind the scenes. Others dismiss the entire story as an exaggerated internet rumor. These different perspectives can coexist long after the trending moment has passed. Over time, the detailed timeline of the rumor begins to blur. People no longer remember exactly when the story started or which claims were confirmed. Instead, they remember a simplified version of the headline. Remember that rumor about those celebrities? That simplified memory becomes part of internet culture. It illustrates how quickly digital narratives can grow and how easily they can fade once attention shifts elsewhere. The speed of this cycle reflects the structure of modern social media platforms, where engagement determines visibility. High engagement brings attention. Low engagement leads to disappearance. By the end of the cooling phase, the rumor that once dominated conversations had already begun losing momentum. The same platforms that amplified the story were now promoting different topics. The cycle had nearly completed itself. But before closing the story entirely, there's one final piece worth examining, because the biggest lesson from this situation isn't necessarily about whether the rumors were accurate. It's about how quickly digital culture can transform speculation into a global conversation. The viral speculation involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown showed how quickly the internet can transform a single claim into a massive global conversation. And the most important takeaway isn't about whether the rumor was true or false. It's about how easily people can believe something once it spreads widely enough. In the digital age, information travels faster than verification. A single tweet, screenshot, or short video can reach millions of viewers within minutes. By the time journalists or official representatives investigate a claim, public opinion may already be forming. Speed creates perception. When audiences see the same headline repeated across dozens of accounts, it begins to feel credible, even if those accounts are simply repeating each other. The repetition gives the impression that multiple sources have confirmed the story. Psychologists call this the illusory truth effect. The more often people hear a claim, the more likely they are to believe it. Another factor that contributes to viral rumors is emotional storytelling. Stories that involve betrayal, confrontation, or hidden secrets attract attention because they resemble dramatic narratives we see in movies or television. People naturally respond to stories with clear emotional stakes. A rumor that suggests tension between celebrities instantly becomes more interesting than ordinary news. Audiences begin imagining what might have happened behind the scenes. They analyze social media posts for hidden clues. They debate theories with other fans. In this way, the audience becomes part of the storytelling process. That participation is one of the defining features of modern media culture. In the past, celebrity stories were shaped mostly by traditional news outlets. Today, millions of users contribute to the conversation. Every share, comment, and reaction expands the narrative. This collective participation can be entertaining and engaging, but it also carries risks. When speculation spreads faster than confirmation, misinformation can easily take hold. Even after a rumor fades, the digital traces remain. Search engines remember trending phrases. Videos discussing the rumor continue circulating online. Someone discovering the story months later might see only fragments of the original debate, without context. Those fragments can appear like established facts. That's why media literacy has become more important than ever. Media literacy means asking questions before accepting a headline at face value. It means considering where information comes from and whether credible sources have verified it. For example, when encountering a viral rumor, it helps to ask, is there an official statement confirming this claim? Have reputable news organizations reported this same information? Are multiple sources providing independent evidence? These questions encourage critical thinking instead of instant reaction. Another important lesson involves the role of algorithms. Social media platforms are designed to promote content that generates engagement. When a post receives many comments and shares, the algorithm assumes it is interesting and shows it to more people. The algorithm does not evaluate whether the information is accurate. Its goal is to maximize interaction. This system explains why dramatic rumors often spread farther than careful explanations. Content that provokes strong emotions, surprise, anger, curiosity tends to perform better than calm analysis. But awareness of this dynamic can help audiences navigate online information more responsibly. Understanding how algorithms work makes it easier to recognize when a story might be trending because of emotional reactions rather than verified facts. The rumor cycle involving these Celebrities also demonstrates how quickly narratives can evolve. A single post can grow into multiple theories, debates, and interpretations. Each new piece of content adds another layer to the story. Before long, the original claim may be overshadowed by the reactions themselves. That's when the conversation becomes less about facts and more about spectacle, and spectacle is a powerful force on the internet. But the same audience that amplifies rumors also has the power to approach them thoughtfully. By questioning claims, checking sources, and avoiding the temptation to spread unverified information, viewers can help create a more informed digital environment. The internet will always produce dramatic headlines. There will always be new rumors, new debates, and new viral stories. The speed of modern communication makes that inevitable. What matters is how we respond. Do we react immediately and share the story without verification? Or do we pause, investigate, and wait for reliable information? That choice shapes the quality of online conversations. Ultimately, the story of this rumor cycle is not just about celebrities. It's about how information moves through modern media ecosystems and how audiences interact with it. It shows that viral attention does not always equal factual certainty. And it reminds us that critical thinking is the most valuable tool in the digital age. Because sometimes the biggest story isn't what happened, it's how the internet reacted. If you made it all, though, way to the end of this breakdown, you've seen just how quickly a single rumor can explode across the internet. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about the viral story involving Stefon Diggs, Cardi B, and Chris Brown? Was the internet reacting too fast? Or do you think there might be more to the story that people haven't seen yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. Just remember to keep the discussion respectful and focused on facts. If you enjoy deep dives into viral celebrity stories and internet rumors, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more weekly breakdowns. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next trending story we unpack.